My daughter asked me to sell my late mother's heirloom to fund her college, but when I refused, she invited my husband's mistress to her graduation party and called her the woman behind her success. Karma struck hard when my Phil tore up some important papers, and now she can kiss her dreams goodbye. I'm 45, and I need to get this off my chest because I'm questioning everything right now. My ex-husband Stan and I split 3 years ago after I discovered his 5-year affair with his secretary. His secretary, the woman who sat at our family dinners and played with our daughter Kendall. That kind of betrayal doesn't just hurt, it rewires you. Kendall was 16 when it all came out, and somehow she blamed me for destroying our family. She'd say things like, "Dad was just lonely," or "You were always working anyway." It stung, but I tried to be understanding. Teenagers process trauma differently, right? Fast forward to her senior year. Stan's mistress announced she was pregnant, and suddenly his priorities shifted completely. When college acceptance letters came, Kendall got into a decent business school with $45,000 annual tuition. We'd always planned to split it 50-50, but Stan called me and said, "I can't do my half anymore. The baby's expensive." I was furious, but told Kendall I'd cover my $22,500 and she'd need to talk to her father about his share. She looked at me like I just slapped her. "Mom, that's not fair. Dad has a new baby to think about. You're being selfish for paying half while her father paid nothing." She started pushing me to cover everything. I explained I didn't have $45,000 lying around, and maybe a small student loan wasn't the end of the world. She stormed off and didn't talk to me for 2 days. Then one morning, she came downstairs practically glowing. She placed this gorgeous blue sapphire necklace on the kitchen table, my mother's necklace, the one that had been passed down through 4 generations of women in my family. "I got it appraised," she said, grinning. "It's worth $80,000, more than enough for my entire degree." I felt my blood run cold. "Kendall, that's a family heirloom. It's supposed to go to you someday." She rolled her eyes. "What's the point of keeping it in a box when I need it now? You're choosing a dead woman's jewelry over your living daughter's future." I told her absolutely not. She called me heartless, packed her bags, and moved in with Stan and his mistress that same afternoon. Graduation day came, and I didn't even get invited to the ceremony, just the after party at Stan's house. When I showed up, Kendall was laughing and taking photos with Stan's mistress like they were best friends. Then came the speech. Kendall stood up in front of 50 people and said, "I want to thank the woman who's really been there for me this year, who believed in me when others didn't." She looked directly at Stan's mistress. "Julia, you've shown me what real support looks like." I left before dessert was served, cried in my car for 20 minutes. But here's the thing nobody knew. Stan's father, who passed away 2 years ago, had set up a trust fund specifically for Kendall's education. $200,000, accessible only with my signature as co-trustee. He'd made me promise not to tell anyone until she graduated high school because he wanted her to work hard and not rely on it. The trust documents were in my safe. Last week, Kendall showed up demanding I help her get more loans, started screaming about how I ruined her life by refusing to sell the necklace. Something in me just snapped. I walked to the safe, pulled out the trust paperwork, and tore it into pieces right in front of her face. Just ripped it apart while she watched. "What the hell are you doing?" she screamed. I told her those were the papers that would have paid for her entire college education, and now they're confetti. Her face went white. She tried to grab the pieces, but I'd already thrown them in the fireplace. The lawyer says without the original documents and with me refusing to cooperate, the trust is essentially frozen. Stan can't afford the legal fees to recreate it, and insurance doesn't cover intentional destruction. Now Kendall calls me every single day, sobbing. She's facing $160,000 in student loans. Stan's mistress told her they can't help because of the new baby's expenses, the same excuse he gave me. She left me a voicemail yesterday saying, "Mom, I'm sorry, please, I'll lose everything." And you know what? Maybe she should have thought about that before she publicly humiliated the only parent who actually had her back.